Okay, so tonight we are talking about sponsorship. Now, Lindsay just the other night talked about the rules. I'm going to mute everybody for now. If you have a question, just click on the chat and type your question there and I'll answer. So anyways, Lindsay discussed what each role meant and your responsibilities. So I'm not going to go too much into that. Tonight we're mainly going to talk about what does a sponsor mean, the compensation as you move up, and how to recruit. So I'm going to share my screen with you and go over the compensation plan. Now this is available, let me get it up here. Oops, hold on just a minute. Okay. So this is available out on, can you guys see my screen? Just someone say yes in chat if you can see it. It says leadership roles. Okay. So this is out on assets, but it's kind of hard to follow. So I want to walk you through it. I was going to use a different slide deck, but I figured since this is the one that's available to everyone, I'll just walk you through this one. So when everyone joins, you're considered a fashion consultant. That's what everybody is here. Unless you're in the queue, you haven't become quite a fashion consultant yet. But as soon as you onboard, you're a fashion consultant. So the next level is sponsor. Now, I think this talk is very important for everybody because you just never know when you're going to become a sponsor. When I started the business, my goal in my mind was I was going to learn the business as best I could for the first 6 months. And then I would start growing my team. Well, my very first pop-up, I had someone drill me with questions about the business. She's actually on the team now, but she was asking for one of her friends at the time, who her friend joined to. And I kind of faked my way through it. You know, you'll hear fake it till you make it. But I answered her questions the best I could, but I still wasn't fully prepared for that when I went into that pop-up. So always be prepared to talk about the business. Just have a couple points in your mind that you might talk about or what you might tell them as far as, you know, I'll get back to you, or just have a document created. And I have that I can share with you. So once you have at least one direct, you become a sponsor. At that point, to get your sponsor bonus check, which you get the following month, you have to purchase a minimum of 175 pieces in that month. And that is really all that is required of you as a sponsor. So if you hit that 175 and you have a minimum of one direct, that following month, you will get 5% from your direct. So let's say you had this direct and then you had 3 others, you are going to get 5% of all of them. Now, if they have a direct, you're not getting anything at this point as a sponsor. So again, 175 pieces, you'll get 5% of what they purchase. If you were on the call today, Mark mentioned, and this has been circulated for probably a good year now, at some point they are moving to how much you sell. So it's very important to continue to concentrate on your sales and work with your team on their sales. Ashley asked 175 per month or per order. That's per month. Yeah, not per order. Not many of us do that per order. So yes, just per month. Again, it's eventually going to be on sales. What that means, I don't know, and they didn't elaborate on that today. But if you are training all of your girls on how to sell, and they're purchasing that 175, I would assume they're selling to get that 175, you should be just fine and you shouldn't see much difference. So the next level after sponsor is trainer. So to become a trainer, that means you have to have a minimum of 3 directs under you. So you have these 3. And then a total of your team of 10. Now your 10 can come from all directs. When I hit trainer, I had 9 directs, and then one of my directs had a downline. So I became trainer. Now, if you hear me talk about lines, what a line is, each direct of yours, like this is one line, this is one line, and this is one line. So just so you know, when I say lines, that's what that means. So as a trainer, you have to have a total of 10 with a minimum of 3 directs. Now, to qualify for your month of bonus check, what you have to do, you have to purchase a minimum of 250 pieces. Now that can come down, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. Your team as a whole must purchase 1,750 pieces. That does not include your 250 pieces. So all these girls down here, their piece count has to be 1,750. Oh, sorry. Laura's calling me. She should be on the call. So if you have the 1,750 and you have the 250 of your piece count, bad Laura, what you will get as a trainer, you will get 5% from your directs. You will get 3% from their directs. You will get 1 leadership point, and I'll go over that in just a minute. And that's all. It stops there. Now, let's say this direct becomes a trainer. So this is, let's say, Adrienne, because Adrienne is one of my trainers. So she now has, hi, Adrienne. She now has her team that she's getting her 1% from. So what I'm sorry, she's getting her 5% and her 3%. So when she becomes a trainer, I'm going to lose this 3%, but I'm gaining, doesn't matter how deep her team goes, I'm gaining 1% of her entire team. Plus, I'm going to get 1 point, 1 leadership point for her as a trainer. So in that scenario, I'll get 2 points, 1 for being a trainer, 1 for having a trainer. I'm losing the 3%, but I'm gaining 1% of her entire team. It can be very confusing, and that's why I want to walk through this with everybody. I will always get 5% from my directs. Even if she becomes a trainer, I'm still getting 5%. Take this one step further. Let's say this girl right here, she becomes a trainer. This girl only has these 2 directs. So in this scenario, this is like Danielle on my team. Danielle is not my direct. Her direct only has Danielle as her active sponsored teammate. Danielle now has a team of 10. So Danielle becomes my line for this line trainer. I'm still getting 5% from this girl. I'm going to get 3% from Danielle, and then 1% from Danielle's team, which will be down here, and 1 point for Danielle as the trainer. So if this girl became a trainer and this girl became a trainer, I don't get anything for this trainer in that scenario. But this is only because this girl here is not a trainer yet. Now, this can get even a little bit more tricky if you say, like, this girl here, let's say she has 3 directs, and then Danielle comes along and gets a team of 10. Well, this girl will be a trainer while Danielle has enough to make up her 10 because she has 3 directs. But as soon as Danielle has a team of 10, this girl would no longer qualify as a trainer unless she built another team of 10. So there are some girls that go back and forth of trainers when they don't have quite that many directs to keep them at that trainer level. Any questions? I know that gets a little strange. Let's see if anyone has questions. Now let me talk about the leader poll for a minute. The leadership poll point, that can change every month. Yeah, Kelly, I know. I literally probably didn't understand this thoroughly till I went to leadership this time, and I've heard it like 5 times. The leadership point What that is that is 2% of monthly company sales divided by the number of points in the pool. We never know how much that's going to be. It's kind of a surprise on your check. That's why when people ask me, what's my check going to be for this month? I really have no clue until I see it. It ranges from 400 to the highest I've seen is about 650. So it's really important for, for us to get our orders in. This is why we kind of talk about you should buy from Audrey and not from other teammates. It's not just your sponsor that you're affecting. If you're getting a point, it's affecting your point because you're not buying from the company. So think of it as it's really affecting your bonus check. It's not just your sponsor's bonus check. So you should always be buying from Audrey and not from other teammates. So that's how they figure out the bonus pool point. So after trainer, you can qualify to be a coach. So as a coach, how do you qualify for that? We need to stress, yes, we need to stress that. Kelly's talking about not buying from other consultants. Let me just touch on that really quickly. It's not just all about the bonus check, the pool point. When you're buying from other consultants, you're usually getting either prints they haven't been able to sell. I know there's dupes out there, and dupes are not bad. If you take a look at that, let's just say the consult or the connection page. Let's take a look at that. If you look at that page, do you see trainers or coaches or mentors on there ever trading? Very rarely. When most of us started, we didn't have those available to us. And we just kind of kept our dupes. It was natural. We kept them, we've sold them. It could take us a couple months, and that's okay. It's new to whoever's seeing it. So I just highly recommend that you concentrate on selling what you have. When you're ordering from Audrey, you're getting the freshest pieces. You're getting the brand new prints. Just the best way to go, especially now, because shipping you're getting immediately. I ordered 3 orders last week, and they came today. So just highly recommend that. So let's go back on track. So as a coach, how do you qualify as a coach? You get, oh, you know what? I forgot something. Let's go back to trainer real quick. So this 250, I mentioned that can come down. So it can come down. So how does that come down? If you have one of your directs buy 175 pieces, you can decrease this by 50 pieces. So let's say she buys 175 pieces. You now only have to purchase 200 pieces. Let's say she only has, or she sells or buys 175 pieces. It now comes down to 150 pieces. And your third girl buys 175 pieces. It now comes down to 100 pieces. 100 pieces is the minimum. It will decrease. Even if you had 10 directs and they all bought 175 pieces, you are still required 100 pieces. Now, for me personally, I don't even look at that. I'm asking all of you to buy 175 pieces. So I feel as a trainer requirement, I'm going to purchase 250 pieces. I feel that's just part of what I do. And plus, let's say we get to the 30th of the month and nobody has bought 175 pieces, and I'm thinking I only need 100 pieces. Well, on the 30th of the month, I have to buy 150 pieces, and that wouldn't be fun to do because I wouldn't want to miss out on my check. So yes, that's available to you, especially if you have, maybe a big vacation month or something, that is an option. And that will flow through to coach as well. So let's go back to coach. To qualify for coach, you must have 3 trainers in different lines. Now that can be, the direct trainers, or let's say this is just a direct and you have a trainer down here. As long as you have 3 trainers in different lines, you then qualify as a coach. Now as a coach, you still have the 250 you have to purchase, and the 1750 as a team, they have to purchase that many pieces. Now what you will get for that, you always get your 5% from your direct line, your 3% from the second line. Where you're going to see a difference is you're getting now 2 leadership points just for being a coach. You're still getting 1 point for every trainer you have. So in this scenario, she'd have 2, and then she'd have 3 more, so 5 total up here. On top of the 5% here, you're going to get 1% of their downline. Now, you're also going to get on a second line trainer, which is going to be this girl over here, you're going to get 2 leadership points for her. So you might ask, why am I getting 2 for someone too deep from me? Their thinking on that is, you know, LuLaRoe is very big on training your directs so then they can train their directs. So in this scenario, they're thinking, you know, well, she did a good job training hers, and they're doing what they should be doing. So we're gonna, you know, we're gonna reward her for that. So you get 2% or 2 points for them, and also 1% of their entire team. And that's where it ends. You don't go deeper than that. So that is a coach. So basically in this scenario, she's getting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pool points. So those can add up quite a bit when they're $400 to $600 per month. And usually your team is much bigger than this as a coach. Now mentor. Now I'm just going to touch on this because mentor takes a while, and you know, we just have a few in the company. So if you get to this level, we'll just talk more when you get closer. So mentor, to qualify as a mentor, you have to have 3 coaches in different lines and 3 trainers in different lines. So you're gonna have 6 different lines of coaches and trainers. They can go, you know, deep again, but again, they just have to be in separate lines. The big difference for a mentor, because you're still getting the 2 points and the same points you would get as a coach, you can now go 3 levels deep with your trainer to get 1% of their total team. You're not getting additional points for them, but you are getting 1% of their entire team. So that's the big difference of mentors, because usually by the time you're a mentor, your team is very deep. So at the coach level, it stops at a certain level. You're not getting paid for the girls so deep. Well, once you hit that mentor, you're getting pretty much at least 1% of majority of your team, which that percent really adds up. So that is the compensation. I'm going to go over some more details here, but does anyone have specific questions on the compensation or want me to go back and address anything? Anybody? And I'm looking at my notes to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay, now let's talk about just being a sponsor. First, there's 2 questions I would ask you, and I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna go back to just my screen here. 1 second. No, it's not a LuLaRoe hoodie. It's from my gym, sorry. My LuLaRoe hoodie is dirty right now. All right, let me close out of this if I can figure out how to. Sorry, ladies. No, I can't figure it out. So you're just gonna have to see that. So 2 questions I would ask you if you think you would like to be a sponsor. My first question would be, do you purchase 175 pieces a month? If you would say no, I would say, how will you train somebody on your team to purchase 175 pieces if you're not doing that yourself? Because you must purchase 175 pieces in order to get your bonus check. So that's the first question I would ask you. The second question I would ask you is, do you trust LuLaRoe 100%? If you don't trust them 100%, how will you respond to people when one of your teammates comes to you and they've had a bad day, they have missing items, they can't get through to home office? How are you going to respond to them? You know, we all have bad days. I am not perfect. I have my bad days, but it's how you react to those. And you're the person that your teammates should be coming to when they're having those bad days. So I would say if you can't trust LuLaRoe 100%, let's make sure you can get there before you sponsor somebody, because we want to be able to react to our team appropriately. So those are the two things I always think about first. So if you are ready to be a sponsor, what does that mean? Well, that means you need to train your team. Deanne at Leadership told us on stage, she basically said, if you don't have the time or don't want to, help your teammates, then don't cash the check. That check is all about your team. It has nothing to do with your sales, has nothing to do with what you purchase. It is about your team. And they pay us very well to train our team. I was just going to say something and I lost my train of thought. We are definitely not the kind of company that we sign someone up and we say, go along your way. We are here for them throughout the process. Now that means different things for different teammates. I definitely have teammates that I reach out to and I don't get responses, or, they might just send me a quick response back, I'm doing great. I might not spend as much time on those team members because maybe they're the type of person that likes to research things themselves. Now, there are other teammates that want to hear from me daily, weekly, but as a teammate, your responsibility is to let your sponsor know what you need. Your sponsor can't read your mind. If you need to be contacted every day, you need to let your sponsor know. So they have also told us they do not want us to have more than 25 directs. So I am currently at that point where I have 25 directs. So I have actually been distributing my potentials to other girls on the team. So if you are somebody that would like to be a sponsor, maybe you're growing your team, maybe you want to be a trainer, I would encourage you to let me know. There's already been 5 people that I have passed on to other people that have joined. And I make sure that whoever I am passing on to these people, that I think they will be a good fit. I look at where they live. I look at just a lot of different things. I kind of interview the potential, see where they're at, and then ask them if they're comfortable moving to somebody else. So the reason they would like you to put a cap on how many directs you have is because of the amount of time you need to spend with your directs. Now, there have been months that I've kind of overloaded myself, and I've had 5 people join in 1 week, and it was too much. And I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. Your sponsor's learning as she goes, so give her some grace. However, I love it when one of my teammates lets me know that I'm not doing what they want them to, they need from me. I have had 2 girls tell me, I don't feel like you're helping me. I need this from you. And I love that, because then I know that I need to help them more. And it might even be just a different avenue. I might need to pick up the phone rather than text them. So just try and communicate with your girls, and make sure they know the communication is open there for them. So also on that, when you're sponsoring somebody, we have this 6 to 8 weeks of training. I always encourage when they're in queue to go out and look at YouTube, Google things. So those are things they can do on their own, but I also give them those stepping stones of things they should be looking at and touch base with them throughout the 8 weeks. Excuse me, I need a drink. Because it is a long wait, and I don't like to bug them too much, because there's only so much you can teach them, but you do want to touch base so they know you're not like that you just signed up and let them go. Then once they onboard, as soon as they onboard, you need to touch base with them and walk them through just different, like the 72-hour game plan, make sure they know what that means, whatever they need. Walk them through the system, if that's just picking up the phone, or a lot of them figure it out on their own and you just have to answer questions. There's some that want you to go to their house and help them. Very important, though, is make sure you can attend their launch. Now, I haven't been able to attend all mine, and it's usually because I'm either out of training or on vacation. So in those scenarios, I try and get someone on the team to attend for me. Doesn't always work out. There have been a couple I haven't been able to attend, or they want to launch right away and my schedule is booked. But it's one of the most important things you can do is make sure that you attend their launch. Now, after that, you can kind of talk with them how much you want to be in contact with them. Make sure I'm not, okay. Sorry, just checking the chat. But as soon as they hit, let's say like Adrienne and I don't have to talk that much because she's got her team, and she just reaches out to me periodically if she has a question, but I'm always there for her. So just keep that in mind. Yes, it's your business, but you are there to help your team. This is kind of hard for my husband to understand because he says, why are you going to lunch with this person? Why are you doing these webinars? Like, what is this doing for your business? And this is how I explained it to him, and you can use this for your husbands. And I caution saying this because I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea here. I have to explain it to him like I'm a manager. I'm not your manager, but in his mind, that's kind of makes sense to him. I came from the corporate world and I manage people, so he kind of gets that. So your success is my success, and I need to make sure you're successful. So if you need to use that for your husband, you can explain that to him, because a lot of my time is training you guys, and I love every minute of it. And seriously, like when Adrienne made trainer, when Danielle, she's in the queue, like I cried because that is super exciting for me. Like it makes me so happy. When you guys tell me, hey, I had a 70-piece party, like it blows my mind and I am like in tears. So you should feel that way about your team. And I absolutely love my team. I love all of you girls. If you don't feel that passion for your team, just maybe, only 10 minutes. I'm staying with 3. Sorry, I'm rambling now. Let me make sure I went over everything I wanted to go over. I think I hit most of the main points. Adrienne, you're on. Anything else I should go over? Or ask me questions, guys, if you have any. Most important is make sure you understand the business, even when you first launch, because you will get asked about it. You'll get asked about it when people know you're in the queue. You don't have to know everything, but give them bits and pieces you can, and then let them know you'll get back to them. We have that opportunity page. As soon as someone says they're interested in the opportunity, ask them if you can add them to that page. Yes. Okay, just that in a minute. Add them to that page. Listen, I'm not taking any more directs. I am there to help you guys. If somebody adds someone to that page, I can see who gets added or who adds them. So if that person asks me a question, I can go back to whoever added it and said, hey, why don't you touch base with this person? Saying that if you added someone and you haven't heard from them in a week or 2, go back to where you added them and ask them if they were able to watch the event. See if there's any follow-up. You guys, you never know who's ready for this business. I had someone join yesterday that I passed on to somebody else. I talked to her about 6 months ago, and out of the blue, she messaged me 2 days ago and said, I'm ready to join. So you just never know when those seeds are planted and when they're going to be ready. And what Adrienne said is, do not feel bad about asking your sponsor questions. That's our job. I did a little live video on this the other day, quit apologizing. That's what we're here for. When you first got on board, my phone is blowing up with your questions, and I love it because I know you're loving the business. You want to know everything about it, and that's what I'm here for. Now, I can't, and we all can't always answer immediately, but we will answer. So that is important. Never feel, hi, Kelly, I see your picture now. Versus 4. Annie, we don't know yet. They have not given us the details on the sales. I honestly don't think it's going to be a huge difference. In fact, when they first talked about this, I looked at what my team did orders-wise versus sales. And the sales, in some cases, were more because people maybe just didn't order that much that month, but they had really good sales. So I honestly don't think it's going to be a huge difference. But if people are, well, no, that won't matter. Yeah, as long as your team is selling, you should be fine. So just keep training them on how to sell and book pop-ups. And actually, on that note, Adrienne is going to do a webinar next week, probably around the same time, and it's going to be on booking pop-ups. So that was a big comment when I asked for suggestions last week. So we are going to talk about that. Anyone else? Okay. Well, I think I've held you guys up long enough. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me offline, send me a message. I'll be happy to answer anything. And you can go back and look at this because the compensation plan really does take several times to look through and understand. Thanks, Kelly. All right, ladies, we'll go root on the Indians or Cubs. You're welcome. Everyone have a great night.